Welcome to Mission Ready, a professional development series built to strengthen how organizations lead, communicate, and perform. Each session translates real-world leadership lessons into practical tools any team can use, whether you're driving strategy, managing people, or building your career. The focus is simple: clarity, discipline, and consistent execution. This isn't about where you come from. It's about equipping you to operate with confidence in fast-moving environments. Whatever your role, this is your space to refine your craft and get mission ready. Every mission depends on one thing: a functioning engine. In the military, that might be a logistics network, a maintenance cycle, or a supply line. In business, the engine is financial, a system of revenue, costs, cash flow, and decision pressure that keeps the organization alive. Leaders talk about profit all the time, but the truth is this: profit isn't what keeps a business running. Cash does. Understanding how money actually moves inside a business, where it comes from, how it gets used, and where it gets trapped, gives leaders a level of clarity that most people never achieve. This episode breaks the financial engine down to its fundamentals: not accounting theory, not Wall Street commentary, but the real-world economic mechanics that determine whether a business grows, stalls, or dies. If you want to lead teams, manage resources, or build something that lasts, you need to understand this engine. Welcome to Mission Ready. Revenue is the fuel source of any organization, but most people misunderstand it. They think revenue is money in the bank. It isn't. Revenue is simply the stream of money that should be coming in if everything goes according to plan. Leaders need to know not just how much revenue a business generates, but where it comes from, how stable it is, and how easily it can disappear. One-time revenue is like a single supply drop, helpful but temporary. Recurring revenue is your long-term supply line, predictable and steady. Understanding revenue isn't about accounting, it's about operational readiness. When you know your revenue streams, you know how much fuel you can rely on, how fast you're burning it, and how exposed you are to disruption. That awareness separates reactive leaders from strategic ones. When you strip a business down to its essentials, costs fall into two categories: fixed and variable. Fixed costs are the expenses you carry whether you're moving or standing still. Rent, salaries, insurance. These are like the weight of your rucksack. You feel them even on the days when nothing is happening. Variable costs rise only when you produce, ship, or sell something: materials, packaging, fuel, labor hours. These are the additional pounds you add when the mission ramps up. Leaders must understand this structure because most business failures are not revenue failures. They are cost structure failures. Too much fixed cost and the organization becomes rigid and fragile. A strong variable structure creates flexibility and resilience. When leaders understand the cost battlefield, they understand how quickly a business can maneuver, how fast it can scale, and how much shock it can absorb. If revenue is the fuel, then cash flow is oxygen. A business can survive without profit for a period of time, but it cannot survive a single day without cash. That's why leaders must understand the difference. Profit is an accounting number. Cash flow is the timing of real money entering and leaving the organization. Many businesses fail even when they appear profitable on paper because the money arrives too late. Inventory delays, overdue customer payments, rising costs, or unexpected expenses choke the flow of cash until the operation suffocates. Cash flow discipline is not an accounting exercise. It is operational readiness. It tells you whether the team can make payroll, buy materials, pay debt, and stay alive long enough to execute the mission. In leadership terms, Cash flow is the heartbeat. When it stops, the mission ends. Interest rates are the financial gravity of the business world. When rates rise, everything becomes heavier. Loan payments, credit lines, equipment financing, mortgages, inventory financing. Businesses that once moved quickly suddenly struggle under the extra weight. This is why rate increases hit small businesses the hardest. They borrow more proportionally and their margins are thinner. When the cost of borrowing rises, growth slows, hiring freezes, and expansion plans are canceled. Understanding interest rates isn't about predicting markets. It's about understanding operating pressure. In leadership terms, interest rates determine the incline your team is forced to climb. A small increase can turn flat ground into a steep hill, and when debt becomes too heavy, even good businesses collapse. Leaders who understand financial gravity can anticipate strain long before it breaks an organization. Most businesses don't fail because their idea was bad or because competitors crushed them. They fail because the pressure inside the financial engine builds silently until the structure gives out. The number one killer is cash flow collapse. A business can survive a bad quarter, but it cannot survive running out of cash. When payroll, rent, and debt payments collide with delayed revenue, the engine locks up. Another hidden trigger is too much fixed overhead, too many obligations that must be paid no matter what. When fixed costs become heavy, the business becomes rigid and fragile, unable to maneuver or adapt. Poor pricing strategy also erodes margins until profitability evaporates. Over-reliance on debt magnifies every mistake. And the slowest killer of all is failing to adapt when the economic environment shifts. These triggers don't appear suddenly. They build quietly. Leaders who understand them can spot the cracks early, stabilize the engine, and prevent failure before it happens. At the end of the day, financial knowledge isn't about spreadsheets. It's about readiness. Leaders must understand the financial engine because every decision they make places weight on that engine. Stable revenue streams are not luck. They are built intentionally. Cost structure determines agility. Too much fixed cost creates a rigid organization that breaks under pressure. Cash flow discipline is what keeps a business breathing. When money arrives late, every part of the mission slows down or stops. Debt and interest rates determine the incline that leaders must climb. The higher the rates, the heavier the load. Most failures don't come from the outside. They start inside, from pressure points leaders didn't see or didn't act on in time. Your job is to see ahead, recognize the early signs of strain, and act before the engine cracks. That is what financial readiness looks like, and that is what leadership requires. Thank you for joining me for this episode of Mission Ready. The financial engine of a business isn't just an accounting system. It's the heartbeat that drives performance, growth, and survival. As leaders, our responsibility is to understand the forces that shape our teams, our organizations, and the lives of the people we serve. Stay aware, stay informed, and above all, stay mission ready.